A very good morning to my dear class 12 computer science students. Today we'll be starting up the rest part of our chapter 10, that is computer and networking concepts. So in this session we'll be reading few important concepts like what is website, web address and web pages and many more. So let us begin. So what is a website? Website is actually the location on the net server. Okay, and it is always having a unique address, and that is known as URL. Like we have many URLs like www.google.com. so this is a unique address. When you will type this address in the address bar of any web browser, you will be able to open that particular website. Okay, like he has taken this example. So in this way we are writing a URL in the address bar of a web browser. Fine. So this HTTP is actually a protocol. The full form is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So this protocol is very important. Why? Because it is actually responsible for the communication between the client and the server. Okay, because when this client and the server, they communicate with each other, then only the client is able to fetch out the required information from the server. Okay, so for that we need this URL also, and the URL is generally defined in three parts. One is your type, second is your address, and then is a path. Okay, full form of URL is Uniform Resource Locator. Okay, so HTML, actually these web pages are designed in HTML, and HTML full form is Hypertext Markup Language. So actually I have discussed this point in previous video also, that World Wide Web is a part of internet. So actually it is a service of internet. So if internet is not existing, the World Wide Web, its concept is also not existing, because when something is there, then it can provide the service. So if internet is not existing, there is no concept of World Wide Web. Okay, so this World Wide Web is a service of internet only. So we were talking about the URL structure. So URL is basically having three parts. One is the type, okay, and second is the address, and then is the path. Fine. So let us discuss these three parts of URL in detail. So type is basically the type of server or the protocol we are using. Like we are using HTTP, that is a communication protocol that is required very essentially when we are connecting to the server. Okay, because the connection between the client and the server is possible just because of this HTTP protocol. So firstly we will mention the name of the server or the protocol, then we will write the address of the server on the internet. Like we will write Google, we will write Microsoft, we will write this Yahoo. Okay, then the location of the file on that server, means the path that is actually required to locate that particular resource on the computer. Like you want to open a syllabus of class 12 on CBSE website. So firstly you will write HTTP, then you will put two colons, then for two forward slashes. Okay, you will put a colon, then two forward slashes, and then you will be writing www.cbsc. okay, CBSE is your domain name, and then comes the rest part that is required to reach that particular syllabus for class 12. The rest complete path will be known as your location of that file, that syllabus file on that particular server. Okay, so there are three parts. One is your protocol HTTP, then name or address of the server. Fine, then comes your location of that file or path of that file on that particular server. For using this URL, where you need to type this URL in any web browser, and examples of web browser could be like Netscape Navigator, it can be Opera, it can be Apple Safari, it can be Internet Explorer, it can be any other web browser that you are using in your daily routine. So likewise we have HTTP, we have other protocols also, and they are really very helpful to us to do a particular type of task. Okay, like FTP protocol is there, that helps you to transfer, or the file transfer protocol means that is required to transfer files from one place to another, and file can be a text file, it can be binary file. Okay, then comes your HTTP. HTTP is your communication protocol that is actually required to help the client to communicate with the server. Like for mails we have POP. POP stands for post office protocol. So along with it we use SMTP, which is basically required to send messages via emails, right? Next comes your news. So these protocols, actually for news we use NNTP, that stands for Network News Transfer Protocol. This is basically required when we are working with news groups. Okay, so when we are dealing with TCP IP, like we are dealing with Gopher, so that then also we are in need of certain rules, regulations. So for different types of things we are using different types of protocols. Okay, so likewise they have given you an example like this HTTP. So this is your protocol, this is your address. Okay, and then comes your path. Okay, this is a general message, the general URL. When we need to specify or locate to a particular file on that particular website, then rest of the path after reaching that website is called your path, that of that particular resource on that particular web server. Fine. So now comes different extensions are there, or domain IDs we can say there, that are present, that are required for different types of websites. Like we used com for commercial websites, edu for educational websites, gov is for government websites, mil is for military websites, .net is for network resources, .org is for non-profit organizations, .co is for company, biz is for business, TV is for television, and there are many other websites also. Okay, likewise we use .co.in. In stands for India. So for different countries also we are using different domain IDs. Fine. Here they are telling you for different countries, like for Australia we'll be using .au, .dk is for Denmark, .in is for India, .nz is for New Zealand, .ca is for Canada, .fr is for France, .jp is for Japan, UK is for United Kingdom. Okay, so now comes few important terms like home page. Home page, it is the index page, or we can say the main page from which we are starting the navigation into a particular website. So whenever you are opening a website, the very first page that appears on the web browser is your home page. So what is a website? It is a collection of web pages. When you combine different web pages together, it forms a website. So the first page from which you are navigating in that particular website, navigating is to move inside that website from one page to another, that is known as your home page, because the home page is the main page of the website that allows you to provide links to other pages of the same website. Okay, so what is a web portal? So it is a website only which hosts other websites also, like Yahoo is having a news group also, email also, it's a search engine also. So we can say Yahoo is a web portal. So when you open Yahoo, you get links to various other websites, so that Yahoo is known as a web portal. Okay, so likewise we can have many web portals that are the host for other websites. Okay, I hope it is clear to you. Next comes web hosting. So what is web hosting? Web hosting is actually hosting the web server applications on a computer through which the electronic content on the internet is readily available to any web browser client. So actually what it means, let me take an example to explain this concept. Like you want to open a shop. Okay, you have decided the name for that particular shop, and you have decided for which purpose you are opening that shop. Okay, so your the name of the shop has been decided. So that is like you have given a domain name, okay, for your shop or your website. But where would you be placing that shop in your locality? Okay, that will be that is like taking up space in your locality to establish that shop. Okay, so firstly you will decide the name of the shop and for what purpose you are going to start up this shop. So taking the name for that particular shop, registration for that shop, okay, and then buying a space for that particular shop. So that buying the web space for the particular website is your web space, and that is known as hosting. Okay, so whenever you are trying to start your own website, then what you can do, you can firstly select up a name for your website, like Google has taken the name of its website as Google, and then where it has to take the space. For taking the space or for purchasing the hosting, there are many websites. Like you want to start your own website, then you may take the hosting from different different websites are there, like GoDaddy is there. So there hostinger is there. There are many hosting sites that are providing you web space, that is for the paid services are also available, free hosting is also available. So buying a web space is your web hosting only, and when you have taken the space in the web for establishing your website, okay, with a particular domain name, then it gives you a complete website. So if you want to set up your own website, then you must finalize the domain name first, okay, and then you must purchase the web space, that is your hosting, from the different websites that are providing a free that paid or free space for your website to get established. Okay, so I hope it is clear to you. So web hosting is actually hosting a server, okay, on your computer system, through which your electronic content on the internet is available to the clients. Okay, so when you are publishing your website, so whatever contents you will be displaying on the websites will be available to the clients who are accessing your website from the web browser. Okay, so web hosting is actually a means of hosting web server applications on the computer system, okay, through which the electronic content, whatever content you want to display to your client on the internet, will be available by means of this web hosting. Means when you will purchase the web space, then only using that particular domain name the users will be able to access the contents of your website. Like I if I start my website on a particular thing, like I want to start a e-commerce website, so firstly I need to buy space for it, okay, for that is called hosting, for which I'll be paying something to that particular website. Like if I purchase the space from GoDaddy, so I'll be paying something to GoDaddy for buying up that space, okay, and then I'll be giving the name to my website, and that name will be known as domain name. Okay, so this is what is the concept of web hosting is. Okay, so there are different types of web hosting. One is your free web hosting, free hosting. So free hosting is basically when you are not paying anything for buying the web space. So in that case, what will happen, like if you are, like this is one of the example, like your domain name, you are thinking of that I'll be taking the domain name of my website will be TK, okay, and if you are not buying the web space, you are not paying for it, okay, then you will be using the name of any particular website which is providing you the free space for setting up your website. Okay, like blogger.com helps you to set up your blog, but for free. So whatever your domain name would be, after that it will write .blogger.com. okay, if you are buying your own website, then .blogger will not come, it will be like .com directly, .in directly. Okay, so for free hosting you will be using some prominent sites, okay, that will help you to establish or publish your website for free, but for that they will be using their own name in the domain name. Okay, like we have sites like google.com. if Google is establishing itself on Blogger, let us say, so what will it will be like www.google.blogger.com. so that means this website, this Google website has been established on the Blogger hosting. Okay, so if you want to go for the free hosting, then domain name will be including that particular website name. So if you want to take your own, means you want to establish your own domain name with your own website, so for that you need to pay to a particular hosting website. Okay, for for that you will be paying monthly, annually, and like per month, per year, or for many years together you want to pay. So for in that case you will be able to access and update your site, and you will be able to upload your files on that particular website. You can log in 24/7 anytime on your site. Okay, so others also will be able to access your website. So in that case, why it is named as virtual or shared hosting, because you are using the server of a particular website, and that server is also hosting to other websites also that are paying. Like I am using GoDaddy's server to host my website, you can also use GoDaddy server to host your website. So in that case we are using shared hosting with GoDaddy with each other, right? So next comes your dedicated hosting. So in this type of hosting, the company who is wishing to go online, it will take the entire web server of from a particular hosting company. Like from GoDaddy I will purchase the entire web server because my website is going to be very big, so I will purchase the whole server. It will not be shared by any other website, so it will be like dedicated hosting, because my website is going to handle a large traffic. So it has certain special needs. Like I am making my websites for e-commerce like Amazon, Flipkart, and so on. So I'll be using some special features there. So in that case we'll be going with a dedicating hosting. What is co-location hosting? So it is just like your dedicated hosting, but now what you are doing, you are not dependent upon hosting companies. You are going to have your own server. Means you will be establishing your own web server. Why? Because and this time you will not be dependent upon any hosting company. Okay, backup you will be taking, any technical support you will be arranging, power supply backups, hardware upgrades, everything you will be taking care of. So you need very good expertise in the networking field, then only you will be able to handle this co-location hosting. Okay, so it is just like your dedicated hosting, but here you will be managing your own server. You will not be dealing up with any of the hosting company as we were dealing in case of dedicated hosting. Okay, next comes Web 2.0. So actually it is an added feature or application to the web that is making the web much more interactive. So Web 2.0 is basically available for free, and it is giving many noticeable features to the people or the clients. We can say it is providing an interactive platform where the client can give reviews, opinions. Okay, so what are the various noticeable features that Web 2.0 is providing? That Facebook it is providing, the Flickr, WordPress, Twitter, YouTube, Blogger. So they all are very interactive features of Web 2.0, and with the help of this, the speed of the internet has been enhanced to a very greater extent. Okay, what is HTML? HTML is the hypertext markup language. It is basically required to design the web pages, and whenever we are using this using web browsers, this language actually helps the web browsers to get the response, or we can say the request of the users, and then it delivers to the web server. So it is very important language, because HTML tells the web browser how to display the contents of the hypertext documents. Okay, it can include text, images, other support medias also. So HTML is, we can say it support multimedia and new page layout features. Okay, it is it's not a web processing tool, whether it is it provides the layout commands and these layout commands, they are known as tags. So these tags are some special commands that are given to a web browser in order to understand what the client is actually wanting to get out of it. Okay, so likewise we have HTML, we have XML also. This is also a language that is required to design web pages, but difference between the HTML and XML is that XML is actually a extensible markup language that is providing you the feature to design your own tags. But in HTML we were not having any such facility that we have to use only the predefined tags. We cannot create our own tags. But when we are interested in creating our own tags, then we need to go with XML. Okay, so XML actually it focuses on content means your words or pictures, and HTML it focuses on the content as well as on the formatting part also. So XML is basically focusing on the content only. So how to display is basically handled by like CSS or HTML we can take, but in XML will be just focusing on the content part, that what we want to display. XML is not focusing on how we have to display the things, like formatting features are not included in XML, but in HTML we have tags which are helping us in doing the formatting also. What is formatting? Formatting is something that helps us to make our document look more attractive, like we can make italics, bold, underline effects we can give, we can add color to our document. So HTML is giving the formatting features also, but in XML we cannot have the formatting features. So basically the focus of XML is on the content, that what data we want to display, and how we want to display is not a cup of tea for XML. Okay, so XML is really a meta language for describing the markup languages. From XML we can create our own markup languages. Okay, there are no predefined tags in XML. As I told you, we will be creating our own tags, so we don't have to remember anything. Like in HTML we were in need of remembering the tag names, and we have to use those tags name only if we want to use that particular feature. But in XML we'll be creating our own tags, no predefined tags are there, so we are not supposed to learn anything. We can create our own tags as per the requirement only. Next comes your dynamic HTML. Okay, so that is also abbreviated as DHTML. So it refers to the web contents that changes each time it is viewed, like how many users are visiting a website. Okay, like right now 50 users are visiting a particular website. After 2 minutes or 1 minute, the user visiting the websites will vary. So such information, such parameters that are not fixed, that can keep on changing. Okay, like time of the day is never fixed, so geographical location of the reader. So the such parameters that are different at different intervals of time, for such type of things we are using new HTML extensions, that is DHTML. Okay, next comes your web scripting. So what is a script? Script is actually a list of commands that are embedded in the web page. Okay, so scripts are interpreted and executed by a certain program or a scripting engine. Actually these scripts are very important because the script is the commands that we are embedding into the web page. Okay, so programming languages we are using for writing scripts, like we use VB script, we use JavaScript, ASP, we use PHP, Perl, JSP. So there are different scripting languages. Fine. So what is web scripting? It is a process of creating and embedding the scripts in the web pages. Scripts are your commands, some commands we are writing, because in computer everything works with the commands only. So for getting something done we need to add a command to it. So for writing commands we use scripts, and the web scripting is the process of creating and embedding. Embedding means putting those scripts into the web page is called web scripting. So firstly creating and then embedding those scripts in the web page is web scripting. So what are scripts? I told you, list of commands. Fine. So we use these commands for variety of purposes, like we want to automate some process on the local computer. Fine. For anything we can have some scripts. There are two types of scripts. One is your client side script, and second is your server side script. So let us see what is the client side script. Basically, whenever we want to interact with the web pages, okay, so whenever we want to enable the interaction within the web pages, then we have to go with the client side scripting. Okay, the client side scripting, these are the scripts that are downloaded at the client end. Okay, and then browser will interpret them or execute them. Fine. So these client side scripts, they are dependent on the web browser. We know web browser, like we have Apple Safari, we have Mozilla Firefox, we have Internet Explorer. So basically, when we need to interact with the web page, okay, we means the clients want to interact with the web page, so for that client side scripting should be used. Okay, like client is playing online games, so here the client has to interact with the web browser. Okay, so here client side, when online games are being prepared, where the response of the client has to be taken up, in that case client side scripts are used to design the web page. Fine. Next comes is examples. What are the examples? Like VB script, JavaScript, PHP. So you must learn these examples, because in exams you can be asked what all are the examples. They will give you a few scripting languages, and they will ask extract out the client side scripting languages and the server side scripting languages. So examples for client side scripting languages: VB script, JavaScript, and PHP. Full form of PHP is hypertext preprocessor. Okay, PHP stands for hypertext preprocessor. Fine. Okay, VB stands for Visual Basic Script, JavaScript, and PHP. Okay, so next comes your server side scripting. Server side scripting is basically required to enable or carry out the task at the server end, and then it sends the results to the client end. So basically here the server is doing the processing, and that processing has to be done by the server, and then results will be sent to the client. So here browser has no role in between. Okay, everything has to be performed by the server only. So server side scripting is used when the information is sent to a server to be processed at the server end only. So here browser is not playing any role. Fine. So for what purpose we are using this server side scripting? One is your password protection, for your browser customization. If we want to set the browser settings, then we can go with the server side scripting. Okay, and if we are working for the building and displaying of the pages that have been created using a database. Okay, when we want to dynamically change or add the content on the web page, then we can use the server side scripting. Okay, so what are the examples for server side scripting language? That is PHP, Perl, ASP, JSP. So these examples you must learn. Next comes, if we compare what is the difference between the client side scripting and the server side scripting. The client side scripting is basically required when we need to interact with the means client has to play a certain role. Okay, so when server has to play a certain role, then we will go with the server side scripting. Okay, so here you will be using the web browser, here you will not be using the web browser. So response to interaction is more immediate once the program code has been downloaded. Okay, here the complex processes are more efficient as the program and associated resources are downloaded to the web browser. So if we talk about the processing speed, so affected by the client side scripting is affected by the processing speed of the user's computer. Okay, so the processing speed is dependent upon the user computer. So here in this case, the processing speed is responsible or dependent on the host computer. Fine. So these were the different differences. Next comes your network security concept. So security is one of the major issue nowadays. Why? Because there we have started our online banking or net banking facility. We have been using daily basis. We are using e-commerce websites where we are doing shopping, so we need to pay money. So wherever the money matters are including, there we need much more security in comparison to others. Otherwise also we have been posting our personal stuff on the social networking medias also. So sometimes we need good security there, so that we may be able to keep the data safe. Okay, so what are the various problems that are encountered under the network security? First is the physical security holes, like some unauthorized physical access to the computer. Somebody is getting access to your files inside your computer. Somebody is trying to hack your password. Okay, so such type of problems come under physical security holes. Next type of problems that are encountered related to your softwares. The software security holes may you will be talking about the written programs or the privileged software that are compromised into doing things. When you do certain things, your privileges or the softwares, they are compromised. Next comes your inconsistent usage holes. So here it is a combination of hardware and software. So basically it is taking the security point of view much more important. So usage, if the things are not being used properly, your hardware or software, they may get damaged at some point of time. Okay, so what protection method we must take into account to get rid of these security threats? Firstly, the authorization is whether the service provider has granted access to the web services to the requester. So here we need to focus upon that whatever user is interested in taking a service from a particular website, so firstly it must provide certain credentials, proofs, so that the particular person may get authority to access that. Like if you are going to start your own Facebook account, so firstly you need to provide your own details. So for that, against that you will get the authority. So authorization is getting the authority to access a particular service of a particular website or other things. So authentication, so once you have gained the authorization, then you will authenticate when you are entering inside that particular service. Like once you have created your account, giving your particular details, you have got the authority to access your account on the Facebook. So for that, you whenever you want to log in, you need to give your password. Okay, so when your password is valid, okay, when you are entering a valid password, then only you will be allowed to access that particular Facebook account that has been created by you. Otherwise, other persons, those who are not having your password, will not be able to get into your account. So this is authentication. A valid password is allowing you to enter inside your account only. Okay, so that is why it is advised that not to share your passwords with your near and dears also, because once the password you have shared it, they also have the authentication proof or authority to access to your account. Next comes your encrypted smart cards. Nowadays encryption is being taken care of, because your smart cards that you are using, if they are not encrypted, the message that you are transmitting from one end to another is hacked by the hacker or the cracker, and they may use your data to harm you somewhere. Okay, so whatever smart cards are being used nowadays, they are encrypted smart cards. Encryption is a technique through which whatever data you are transmitting from one side to another is encoded. Okay, so when it reaches to the destination, it is decoded, okay, so that the receiver is able to understand. So encryption is taken care of, that it is being implemented in the nowadays tasks for the security reasons. Biometric systems are also being used, like fingerprint scanning or the retinal scanning, your face recognition. So they are also being used to add much more security. Fine. Next is the firewall. Firewalls also, they help us to prevent the unauthorized access to your network. Fine. So firewall is actually a combination of hardware and software. Okay, so they check whether the user that is trying to enter inside the network is authorized or not. If an unauthorized user is trying to enter the network, it blocks that particular user or a particular site that is sending the data which is not meant to be entered inside that network. Okay, so there are different types of firewalls, like packet filter firewall is there, application gateway is there, proxy server is there, circuit level gateway is there. So packet filter is basically based on the concept of packet switching, as we have read earlier. So here the data is just checked on the basis of packets that are entering. So they will check, firewall will check whether the packet that are entering inside the network is under the defined rules or not, the user defined rules, that rules you have defined that this type of data should not enter. So it will check that data packet against those rules only. If that packet satisfies those rules that you have defined, then only that data will be allowed to enter in the network. Fine. Next comes your application gateway. It basically applies the security on the application, specific application, that if you want to use such application or you don't want to use such application, so such applications should be banned. That particular application should not be allowed in your network for the access. Okay, next comes your proxy server. This is also a type of firewall setting that is hiding up your true network address. Okay, so that no one is able to take out your IP address. No one is able to take out your original IP address, like you are masking yourself so that no other one is able to recognize you. So here we are not using the true IP address, network address, we are using some fake, or we can say other IP address, so that others are not able to recognize that your system. Okay, next is your circuit level gateway. Circuit level gateway is basically required once the connection has been made. Packets then can flow between the host without further checking. Okay, so here the connection establishment is given much more importance. So firstly the secure connection is to be established, then the packets will be transferred between the host and the client. Okay, next comes other terms like cookies. So what are cookies? Cookies are basically is a message that is given to the web browser by the web server. So it is basically a message to a web browser by a web server, so so that it gives more customization to the web pages. Like you are accessing a website, okay, so it was in your interest only, so you like these types of things, whatever websites you are searching, like you go for e-shopping and there you are purchasing jackets, so you are interested in purchasing jackets. So this type of information will be given by the web browser web server to the web browser, that these are the interest areas of this particular this client, so show some more results related to such things only. Okay, so firstly the main purpose of the cookie is to identify the user, and then it prepares the customized web pages. Like it will not show you the ads of something else that in which you are not interested. So whatever you are searching on the internet, the search other results that are being displayed to you on the like you access Facebook, so sometime you are searching mobile phones. Okay, so you are when you are accessing Facebook, you are able to see ads related to mobile phones. How it happens? Because of the cookies only, they are giving information. This web server is giving information to the web browser that these are the interest areas, so you will be able to see the ads related to your interest area. Okay, so it happens because of the cookies only. They identify you and they customize the web pages according to your preferences. Okay, so they are never harmful, they are just filling out a form according to your name and interests. Okay, and they are not never looking inside your hard disk, they are never interfering your personal material in your hard disk. Okay, so they are not malicious actually. But if you are giving a particular site your own private data to save, then it can be saved in your cookies. Otherwise cookies, they are never saving your personal data. Like you want to save your credit card information for further reference, then only it will be saved. Otherwise cookies will never save this type of information. Okay, so what 6 parameters are passed to the cookies: the name of the cookie, the value, the expiration date, the path of the cookie is valid or not, okay, the domain of the cookie, and the need of the secure connection. Okay, so this was about the cookies. Next comes your hackers and crackers. Actually sometimes we are confusing the hackers with the crackers. Actually hackers and crackers, they are two different individuals. Hackers, they are enthusiastic persons, they enjoy learning programming languages and computer concepts. Okay, they are seeking inside the things just to gain knowledge. Okay, they are not trying to harm you anyways, but whatever activities they are doing, that is also not legal. So that is why sometimes crackers and hackers, they are given the same name. But hackers, their purpose is never to harm you, but they will get inside your network to gain more knowledge. Okay, so crackers, they are the malicious programmers who break the security systems. Okay, and they will get inside your network to harm you, to extract out your information, and that information will be used up to harm you sometime somewhere. Okay, but hackers, they are not using that information to harm you. So actually both are taking your personal information out, but hackers, they will not use your personal information to harm you, but crackers will use that your information to harm you only. So but their approach of hacker and cracker is almost the same. That is why sometimes hackers and crackers, they are used interchangeably. Okay, next comes your cyber laws. Cyber law, actually it is a generic term which refers to all the legal and regulatory aspects of the internet and the world wide web. So cyber laws, actually these are the rules, these are the legal, or we can say the regulatory rules, that how we need to behave on the internet, or while we are serving on world wide web, how we need to behave, and what things we should keep in mind, what we should do and what we should not do, is all about the cyber laws. So what are the rules and regulations that an individual must follow to work on the internet? Okay, so this comes under the cyber law. Cyber law is very important because it touches all the aspects of transactions, activities on and concerning the internet and the world wide web and the cyberspace. So cyber laws, they were implemented in India by means of this ITA. ITA stands for Information Technology Act. They were implemented in year 2017, October 2000. But later the government made many changes in these acts. Basically they were required for the e-commerce, because shopping and money transactions, they started on the internet, so their security was a major concern. So in December 2008 there were many amendments done in the same, in order to enhance the security of the information being shared. Okay, related to the digital signatures, like electronic governance, and some penalties were posed on, some amendments were done in other laws also. So in order to control these cyber crimes, okay, what is a cyber crime? Cyber crime is an unlawful act where in the computer is either a tool or target or both. Means the crimes that are done using the internet, they are known as cyber crimes. So whatever crimes are being done, so crime is something which is not legal. Okay, so something is being done intentionally which should not be done, because you are doing something which is harming others. Okay, so this is a crime. So when someone is doing crimes on internet, that is known as cyber crimes. So there are different categories of the cyber crimes. One is the tampering with the computer source documents. See, some documents that are confidential and someone is trying to destroy, alter the information of that particular document. Okay, and some breaches inside the security they are doing that should not be done. So this is a punishable act, so it should be avoided. Like someone is trying to remove the read only attributes in a file, or someone is trying to make C file into CPP file. Okay, so these are the some illegal activities that includes tampering in the computer source documents, that should be avoided. Okay, second is hacking. Hacking, I told you are trying to gain unauthorized access to someone computer or some network to gain the knowledge only, although your concern is not to harm someone, but still you are destroying the privacy or altering the information of someone to gain your knowledge. So that is also a crime. Hacking is also a cyber crime. Okay, cracking, though it is a crime, but hacking is also a crime. Okay, but if it is ethical hacking, means somebody is giving you permission. Like if I am starting my own website and I want to check the security, and I give you permission to apply some attacks on my website so that I may be able to check security of my website, then it will be known as ethical hacking. Okay, so otherwise the hacking is not ethical or it is not justified. Okay, publishing of information uh, which is obscene in the electronic form, means anyone cannot publish any material which can corrupt the persons. Okay, whatever information is being delivered in a document or in a video, if it is distracting the minds of the audience, then definitely that is also a crime. Okay, like child pornography is also a crime. Fine. Next is accessing the protected system, the system which was not meant for uh, any type of adherence, means any changes that it cannot accept, that is not meant for others, and some others they are trying to access or use some or trying to leak out the information of that protected system, that is also a crime. Okay, breaches of the confidentiality and privacy, like if somebody is trying to crack my password, so he is trying to crack my privacy, so that is also a crime. Okay, so these all are offensible crimes. So uh, against that there can be penalties to the one who is trying to do so. Okay, next comes the IPR issues. IP means intellectual property. Okay, so intellectual property rights, so something that is related to the mind or the intellect. Like I created a song, okay, and it was my creation, and you have published that song with your own name. So what you are trying to do, you are you are going for the intellectual property, you are breaking down the intellectual property rights, because that song belonged to me and I have taken a copyright for it, and you are trying to publish that particular song with your own name, so you are going against the copyrights. Okay, so likewise you can take patents, you can take trademarks. So these are the different terms which are used for taking the copyrights for different things. Like you want to you are an organization and you want to get registered with a particular name. Okay, you want to get a particular logo certified for your company. So for these different terms are used, like you get patent, Okay, you get trademarks, the companies that get trademark. Okay, so these are the different terms against which the rules have been defined, like again some intellectual property. So once we get registered, we get right for that for at least 70 years. Okay, so if anyone is using our content without our permission, so that is a crime, or there are issues with that particular thing. So for that artistic or literary work, if somebody is doing something uh, problematic, like he is using his name for our work, so against that he has to pay certain fine or he can be punished. Okay, next topic is viruses. So computer virus, we all know it's a malicious software that is getting inside your system, and it can create a lot of harm to your system. These can be classified in three major categories. One is your file infectors, second is your boot sector viruses, third is your macro viruses. So these different types of viruses, like file infectors, they get attached themselves to the files. Okay, they attack to the boot sector areas, and they also infect the data files, the macro viruses. Okay, so sometimes these viruses are harmless, but many times they are doing some harm to our computer or our data. Okay, and these viruses are basically spread through email attachments. Okay, because this virus, they have a capability to replicate themselves, so they are spreading inside your system very fastly. Okay, and basically they are started through an external action. How they are spreading, I told you, they can get attached themselves to the files. They can attach themselves to the boot record areas. Okay, so when these boot record areas or files, they get means executed, they replicate themselves. So in this way the virus spreads. Okay, damage that virus can cause, like it can destroy your file allocation tables, your entire file storage pattern. Okay, it can create bad sectors to your disk, it can decrease the space of your hard disk, it can format some tracks of your disks. Okay, it can destroy your executable files because of which the particular file was running. Okay, it can hang up your system. Okay, your mouse or the keyboard, they may stop responding. Fine. Next is your Trojan horses. They are the code hiddens. They are the code hidden programs. That will not be visible to you, but once they enter inside your computer, they start destroying, they start damaging, they start altering the information in the background. Okay, generally the Trojan horse comes along with your attachments. Okay, email attachments. So when you are downloading something from your email attachment, there are many chances that these Trojan horse get entered inside your computer, and they will cause a lot of damage to your data inside your computer. So what are worms? The worms are also designed to replicate. Okay, so what are the characteristics? They have the capability to replicate, and they don't require a host upon which they will get attached. Okay, but they can means magnify themselves very easily. Okay, so they also create network related problems when they enter inside your computer. So how worms they get spread? They are the autonomous agents that are having capability to propagate themselves without the use of any program. Okay, so they are harmful somewhere, because they are not required, means any host is not required for them. They are sending your information to the attacker. Once they get entered inside your computer, they take out your private information, and they will send that information to the attacker who has intentionally installed them in your computer. Next is your spams are basically your junk emails. Okay, so whenever you are distributing your email address on the internet, that email address is spread to other companies also, they are sent to other companies also, and those companies also, they send their mails to your email address. Okay, so if you find that this particular company is not related to you, you should not open that particular email. Actually, there is a spam folder also, or junk mail folder also. This facility is provided by different email service providers. So they by default categorize those mails in the junk folder or spam folder. So you should also take care of it. Then you should not open such emails that are not relevant to you. Next comes how you can prevent yourself from the virus. So you must keep on your firewalls. You should not download the data from illegal websites that are not authorized. You should not use pen drives or CDs that has been used in the cafes. Okay, you must have antivirus and that should be upgraded. Okay, you should use a licensed software. You must keep a password. You must take regular backups. You must install antivirus. Okay, next comes e-commerce payment transaction and using online banking. Okay, so internet banking or web banking is a source of financial transaction. So you must take a good care while using these facilities. These facilities basically very fruitful for us because we are not supposed to go to a local branch for depositing money or for doing any type of transaction. We can use our net banking facility while sitting at home only. So it is giving a great convenience to the user, and the user can perform the banking transaction 24 by 7, 7 days a week. Okay, and this online banking is fast and efficient, and it's very easy and instant also. So what are the disadvantages of this online banking is that if you are using it for the first time, you may be facing several challenges. Security is one of the major issue. Okay, so you need to take certain precautions, like you need to see the lock sign in the address bar before you are doing any transaction. Okay, HTTPS should be written in the address bar, then it's a secured site, otherwise you should not go for any transaction. Next is you should not use the public Wi-Fi for doing such type of transaction because there is a big threat. The connectivity issues, they sometimes create problems while you are doing transaction, because once the money has been extracted from your account, it should be credited, and if in between the connectivity goes out, then the money is not credited to the one to whom we want to send it. Okay, so such type of problems can be there, so we should be very careful about these things. Next is your mobile banking. So if you want to take the banking services in your mobile phone only, you need to download the app of that particular bank. Okay, and examples are like State Bank of India has a State Bank of India app is there. ICICI Bank is having iMobile Android app. Okay, next is BOB is having M Connect Bank app. City app is there. Citibank app is offering Citibank in. Okay, this is the name of the app. Like HDFC banking is offering NG Pay application. Okay, so you can download these app and you can have access of these bank facilities on your mobile phones also. Last topic is e-wallets. Nowadays we are using means these are payment gateways that are helpful for paying the money. Like we were paying money from our net banking facility, similarly we can pay money using Paytm, Freecharge, MobiKwik. Okay, and many more are there. Indian government has also launched an app, and that is known as Bheem stands for Bharat Interface for Money. Okay, so we can use different wallets for paying money, for money transactions. Thank you so much.